Two-man game, TMG, get the news fast, AMG, game of two boxes. Name two boxers that hit as hard as this. Yeah, we're cutting to the truth, no, there ain't no narrative. Eyes up on the cup this year, hear the stadium erupt this year. For my team, TMG.
Welcome to Two-Man Game.
TMG.
I don't know what episode this is. We're losing
26.
track. It's 26. Yeah. John Terry
Oh,
episode.
you gotta pattern up, bro. Ready under pressure of a new guest. Shit.
This guy thinks he's part of the furniture. We can beat you, you know. Mid-pod, you'll be gone. Well, it's great to see you, man. It's great to have a new guest.
It's been a long time.
The ghost of Birmingham. That's how I'm gonna call you.
Looking fresh though, fresh white kicks. I see, boy.
Man said fresh white kicks, bro.
It's
This
so
is
clean,
something light, bro.
That's
Something
the
light.
cleanest guy, fam.
Clean. See lass.
You guys came with the, you know what I mean, the Santos
I'm a
top.
sports gear. Like,
Man
you know
City.
on the club description say no sports gear. I'm that. So you can get to the club. I can't get nowhere.
I wore this shirt purposely because I knew
Well, that's about it.
Silas was coming on, fam. I can't let Man United guys be shining on this.
This is the Man United fan we're trying to get for time.
Yeah, I can't let Man United fans.
Am I the first Man United fan you've had?
No, but
you're the fourth.
you're the fourth, man. But you're notorious. That's why. That's why you have to come on.
They know
fam.
they know my style still. They know my style.
You're notorious, man. It's great to see you on, man. It's been a minute.
Yeah,
So we're gonna dissect. We're gonna use it. I heard you're a boxing guy.
I'm a boxing man, yeah. I'm a combat sports.
pugilist.
Well, I would have said, I don't know about pugilist. I'm just a fan in it, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, when other people weren't really watching and that, you know.
You're still there grinding.
I was there, you know, watching. You know our Lolo from uni, innit? So
Yeah,
obviously,
you're there.
you know what I'm saying? But, yeah.
He was one of those guys, fam. I remember watching the AJ, which one? Klitschko.
Klitschko, yeah.
He pulled up.
Pandemonium.
He pulled up there. That was mad.
I have a story about that, you know. I had tickets to that fight, but I sold them like a sucker instead of going to that fight, man.
You sold the tickets.
Why'd you sell it?
Because I bought tickets in the mindset to sell it, to make a turnover and make a profit, but I should have gone to the fight. The fight was one of the best fights of the last decade, so, you know.
The hype over that fight was mad. I remember that.
Yeah.
You know, I'm trying to go see the next big fight if I can, you know, hopefully Terrence and we'll see Errol get on, or maybe or Fury AJ. They have that the rematch probably in England.
If you want to see Terrence and that Spence, you're gonna be sitting in the sky basically.
I'll take binoculars.
Because you're gonna be so high.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe Fury.
Yeah, floor seats are a madness.
That's a Mazzoline. You're gonna be so high up. Those tickets might be mad.
Man's gonna be sitting with Diddy, fam.
Floor tickets. Oh, jeez, forget it, man. Give me 10 years, maybe.
10 years.
Yeah, those things are
Do
crazy.
you know that some floor seats are going like 75k, Mazzoline.
Yeah.
Even more, Joe.
Even more.
Like when it's a fight of that magnitude, 100k. You know, it depends.
When you even see dons like LeBron, they can't even make it to the floor. Like they're sitting like
It's crazy, bro.
third, fourth row.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Trust me.
Because it's obviously so scarce. Like, you know, there's guys on the same level, same purchasing power as LeBron. If they get the tickets first, and they don't want to sell it, then what are you gonna do?
Yeah,
Yeah.
true.
It's probably a connections thing, isn't it? Like,
Yeah,
because everyone's trying to get the same sort of
it's
tickets.
mad
and-
because in football, floor seats are not the ones that you're really
Yeah,
trying to pay too tough for. Because no one wants to be that low, fam.
Because in football, it's like the box seats.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's give this guy the initiation.
Of course,
TMG.
Man, let's start him in this pod, man. You know this guy.
We're
Quick fire, man. We have to test your knowledge.
Come on.
Basic knowledge.
Your basic knowledge. Okay. Ronaldo,
Messi.
Good episode.
Yo.
Good episode. Man United fan as well that gave it to Messi.
Come on, man.
LeBron or Jordan?
LeBron.
City or Liverpool? Man United fan.
City.
This must be difficult, fam.
Oh, said it quick.
Mayweather or Ali?
Gotta answer wisely.
You know what? This one, I have to think about this one. I'd say on balance, I give it Ali still. Just.
Muhammad.
But Floyd is the paper making king. If you're talking about money
So
and
your money is the money. If you're
and Floyd did this thing as well. Like he's a legend. Do you know what I'm saying? He's
man.
he's
We
a
talked
legend.
we talked about this last
You know,
episode
so it's no
about
disrespect to Floyd.
his impact on Broner, and then when he cut off from Broner, look at Broner now. It was
Broner.
it's a mess.
Broner. I think like Broner, his drive was an issue.
Yeah.
When he started, you know,
Making the money, went big time.
exactly.
How about Fury or AJ?
You know what? I've switched sides recently. I don't think I've let anyone know, but I'm I'm saying AJ, you know.
Okay.
I'm saying AJ.
When did you switch that?
I switched sides late last year. I was just weighing it up. I was just weighing things up. And
Okay. Pep or Klopp?
Pep.
Pep?
Yeah, easy.
Zion or Luka?
Broski, come on, man. Just giving me these basketball questions. What do you know about this? You
Go
don't know
answer,
this,
G.
Zion.
Zion or
Answer,
Luka?
man. Use your brain, dad.
Is it the Luka, the Doncic guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with him because you was talking about him one time. So
Spence or Crawford?
it's another tough one. You man have got some good tough ones. I'm going for Errol Spence. Sorry, bud.
Khabib or Bones Jones?
Ooh. Khabib, because Bone, like John Jones, he's had some issues. You know what I'm saying? The controversies and the
Taking drugs.
drugs, but he's elite. Those two for me, yeah, clear of anyone else in MMA.
What about what's his name?
UFC.
The welterweight and middleweight champ. I can't remember his name now. The guy I put as the top.
What, Tyron Woodley?
No, he's retired.
Oh, and the Silva?
Not the Silva. He's white. He's Canadian, I think.
Oh, George St. Pierre.
No, not George St. Pierre.
GSP.
Yeah.
Yeah, GSP's a legend.
He's the guy I put as the GOAT for MMA.
You really think so? GSP?
Yeah, man.
I don't know.
What about Brock
I
Lesnar?
don't know.
Do you rate Brock Lesnar?
Huh?
Brock Lesnar was a UFC guy.
Man's been...
That's a GOAT for you.
But man's been
No,
drugged
good,
up.
what?
Brock Lesnar...
You
I heard
He was a heavyweight though, but he used to do his thing.
You won one fight, but then you got packed in after. Like, Brock Lesnar is a WWE guy. That's what, when you say Brock Lesnar, I think WWE.
And what's your favourite sport?
Football.
Football's your favourite sport. But I heard there's a time that you didn't play football for like 5 years. What happened?
Not 5 years. What was that? When was that?
I said 5 years. That's half a decade, man.
Man
That's
said
half
you-
a decade, yeah.
How about there was reports that you retired?
Of course, I retired because I don't come to South London.
No.
Retired in
He
his
said
20s.
he retired at sports at what, 2023?
Retired from sports, early 20s, no injury.
Early
Guys,
20s.
don't even take in this rubbish that Ola's putting
He
out
was
there
retired from sports,
into the
man.
universe.
Awful from you, man. Awful.
You got a City top of your Arsenal fight talking about awful, bro.
He has it for fashion.
I don't support Arsenal.
So you're like 23, that rapper. He does the same thing.
What does he do?
He's
Where's
an
the
Arsenal fan that he's wearing City colours now.
23. I heard he doesn't even get 23 views these days.
Alright.
Man, he's falling
I don't
for
even-
mad because he was
I don't even
he
know
was
about
up
that.
here at uni times,
Yeah,
fam.
he was making great
He
music.
was about to elevate. Then he
Hope he
just
can come back. I liked his music. I liked his stilo. He was good. So.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's tough. It's tough to come back when you got such a climb, man. It's tough. You know, in sports, like once you hit rock bottom, like look up McGregor.
McGregor Mayweather. Don't get it
You
twisted
know,
up
don't
again.
get mixed
Twist
up like last episode. You look at McGregor, man. When he hit the bottom, he's not. Do you think he's ever gonna rise?
He could do. I think it's a question of whether he wants it because he's got the money. So
He's got a
I think
piece.
it's a question about drive and passion. I think, but he's more than capable in terms of his ability. So
That's what makes Mayweather so great. Like Silas touched on earlier. He made all the major bucks and still had that same drive. Like, what's his name? Zab Judah. I was watching a video recently, but it reminded me what he said. He said Mayweather trains like he's broke, even though he's worth $1 billion, whatever, or amassed $1 billion in winnings or total career earnings. He still trains like he's broke.
yeah, his drivers are unmatched.
It's unmatched.
You have to
Drivers are matched. I
you have to
mean,
train like that, man.
That's
That's
what
a little taste of money.
That's what makes the greats like LeBron James and Michael Jordan. They still
Why
make
he
it big
spends
time.
1 million on his body?
They're still training like hell. Those guys. The Messis, the Ronaldos. They're still training every day.
Yeah, Messi is great training.
Exactly.
Obviously, we heard some stuff about a certain guy that someone thinks he's the GOAT.
I know he's the GOAT. 110%.
He thinks he's the GOAT, but I heard he weren't training that hard. I heard he weren't training. I heard he told the coach, "Don't play me. Don't play me. I'm not looking too good. I want to look after my body." At 31, that's a young age.
but I think context is important though.
It's 31.
Yeah,
But I think context is important. Obviously, what we're talking about Pele, yeah.
We're talking about, of course, we're talking
of course.
about
Talking
Pele.
So-
about the GOAT.
don't know about
That is not painting him in a good picture on and off the pitch.
But
He did not paint him in a good picture on and off the pitch.
So
Watching the documentary.
that documentary was disappointing.
He was part of it though. He said he's working. He's talking to his Brazilian boys. He said, "Speak to me in English." That's what
the
he told
only
us
thing
all.
I really took from that was something of note because obviously he didn't really teach him much. It was apart from the political side of things, the pressure.
Yeah,
That's the
exactly.
thing that was like, wow. Especially when the journalist made the Ali comparison, saying that Ali done this, blah blah blah, but he didn't really have the deal with the fact that he could be killed, and obviously
Exactly.
Pele did. And when you deep and watch the documentary, the dictatorship, because obviously I know a lot about Pele. I've been researching for time. I just glossed over that stuff because I don't try really to get too political, but And to be honest, when you read it, they don't really speak about it that much. Maybe they did, but I just ignored it. But when I'm actually watching deep, I was thinking, shit, like, you know, it's actually serious. But aside from that, I mean, they focus too much on the international side of things that they always do, obviously, because, you know, that's how Pele made his fame. But most people already know that. I already know that. I mean, basic guys can understand that in like a day. Just watch a few World Cups of Pele. You can pick up early. What I wanted to see in that video was them to go into detail on a club career, because that's where people try to criticize Pele left, right, center, because they don't know. And that's what people needed to know. But they didn't want to go through that. I don't know why, but, you know, is what it is.
No, I agree with Melo, because for me, when I was watching that documentary, it touched more on the politics. The politics took a huge chunk of it.
Too much.
And they did focus on his international career, you know, at the expense of like his club career. But then I think that's where people need to be schooled more about Pele, you know, his club career, you know, Santos, then New York Cosmos and that. But
do you know what he told me about Pele? He told me that Pele sees his legacy is more linked to the World Cup than it is linked to any club career. Like, what Pele sees his legacy is more linked to, okay, I did this for Brazil and I've won this amount of cups. Like that's what it is. He didn't really care about his Santos. Those games were secondary to him. And that tells me that when I was like actually analysing it, it said that, okay, that at that time Brazilian football was at the peak. Like, they were a level above European football, regardless of Pele. Like, even when they won the 62 World Cup without Pele, that showed me that Brazilian football, that was the best football at that time. So that's like saying it was like the European league, basically. So he was playing in the top league. We can say, okay, and they saw Pele as the best. Oh, Pele was the best player in the world. Calm. At that time, best player of the generation. But when the tactics changed, and even they acknowledged that the tactics changed, teams started to become more tactical. They started to become more defensive, because some of the scores in those games are mad. 5-2. I saw how many 5-2s was I seeing. That's a bit mad, you know. That's so that, you know. But when the game became more tactical, slowed it down, teams were focused on defense. At first, Pele couldn't handle that kind of European football. And to go out in the group stages of the 66 World Cup, that is mad. And Eusebio basically outplayed him, basically.
yeah, Eusebio did this thing, but you have to also bear in mind that they won the 58 World Cup and the 62 World Cup. So that's off the back of winning 2 World Cups in a row. I think if you win 2 World Cups in a row, if you go out in the group stage, I'll allow you. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, yeah, they changed the tactics. They more focused, more man marking. They also got more physical, a lot more physical, and, you know, they managed to kick him out of tournaments. I mean, that's what they did in 66. You saw the challenges the Portuguese and other teams were putting on him. You know, today, you know, you breathe on someone's neck, it's a yellow card.
No. I've seen Messi. I've seen Don. He's getting a green list treatment.
It's incomparable to what was happening.
No, but some of those tackles on Pele,
they were mad.
It was incomparable.
Yeah, but have you seen what World Cup? Is it 94? What the Cameroonians did to Italy? Them man booted them. Yeah,
even them.
It's Italian night. Yeah, booted them.
Did Cameroon go quarterfinals that one?
Yeah, they won
Roger
that
Miller.
game as well. They with 9 men. They won.
Similar stuff happened to Maradona, I believe, in '82. I mean, you could really be brutalised and kick guys out of the tournaments, but, you know, to their credit, they bounced back.
It's true.
I mean, yeah, Eusebio outplayed him. Eusebio was one of the best players of that generation. I mean, he's top 5 in my opinion. You have Pele, there's Bobby Charlton, there's Eusebio. You want to put Beckenbauer, even though he kind of like late 60s, early 70s. Yeah, Eusebio was right up there. I mean, Eusebio won Champions League, blah, blah, blah. But Pele also beat those boys. They glossed over it quickly, so I'm annoyed because they didn't go to detail. But Pele beat those Benfica boys in, I think, 61 in the Club World Cup, you know, to prove that, you know, Brazilian football, they're the best team in the world. I mean, they had the club career thing going, like they were the best team in the world. Like you said, Brazilian football was at the zenith, and Brazilian football was the European football. And that's one thing I'm glad you picked up on it, because when people say, oh, he didn't play in Europe, he didn't have to play in Europe. I mean, Europe wasn't the gold standard of football. Brazilian football was. And, you know, they touched on it briefly. His president, before the dictatorship, I believe, he made him a national treasure. So it was basically impossible to take him away from Brazil into Europe, you know. You just couldn't do it. So, especially during those times when, you know, it wasn't as liberated as it is today. Like, when stuff like that happened, there's no getting out of it. You know, the freedom wasn't as much as it is today.
Yeah, the landscape was different.
The landscape was different, obviously.
Yeah.
I would say at that time, like, when we play football now, like the zenith and the peak is probably Champions League. It's just that Champions League is played every year. Do you get what I mean? Like, Champions League is where you get the peak players, you get the peak performance. Like, this is what we judge you off for every year. Whereas back then, the World Cup was the zenith. Like, we're looking at the World Cup, and like people weren't even seeing. No one's watching Brazilian football. No one's even knowing the Brazilian players. Everyone's coming. It's like it's a new experience. Like they weren't like watching tape or looking at tactics like that. It's only like later in the late 60s, 70s that they started to do like tactical breakdowns and know what the other teams were. Like everyone's coming fresh-eyed and new. Like that's why when the 58 World Cup, even the Dons of Brazil didn't even know nothing about Pele. Like no one knew. It's just that Pele got called up to the national team. They didn't know his talent until he actually played in the game. From what I like, and that's what actually took off his club career, because it was off the back of that he got his belief. 62 World Cup, I judge it as this. The fact that Brazil won without him, is it a stain? He got injured. What was it?
Second game, I think.
Second game.
Yeah, I believe, yeah.
And they still won the tournament.
Yeah, they had a great team. Me personally, I've never denied that.
So they have a great team. So you can say, does that taint Pele a bit? He's 21. He's about to approach the peak of his powers.
I don't think it taints him, because the fact that he was in that first World Cup team 58, and as young as he was, and to have the impact he did,
he just didn't win.
Magical.
That's magical. He got injured in that second game.
I mean, me personally, the fact that he got injured at World Cup and still won is what opens up the debate of who's the greatest. Because if he had 3 World Cups and was instrumental in all 3, the argument would be very mad for guys to argue against him. But because, in the second one, because some people know it now, but especially after the documentary, more people know it now. I mean, obviously I always knew this, and I always said that, yeah, he got injured, they had a great team, but who's the other guys? Messi, Barcelona, he had great teams. No. I mean,
I'm talking about international, man.
Ronaldo, yeah, but that's the thing. The club career is the zenith right now,
yes.
Like you said, in football
and
now.
got Champions League.
And back then, it was international. So Pele makes most of his legacy from international. Messi and Ronaldo make it more from the club. And so club-wise, they have great teams.
So did Pele.
I've always said that. International-wise, Pele had great teams. I've never said Pele done it all by himself. Other guys, they may say that, but that's just incorrect.
Even in the 1970s as well. He had
1970s had a mad team. I mean,
he had a great cast.
Jarzinho scored in every round. Revellino, other guys, Claudiano, I think, Carlos Alberto. They had Tostar, Gerson. They had crazy ballers. I mean, I'm never going to deny that. You need great players to win. I mean, that's what I always give 110% credit to Maradona. What he did in 86, the greatest peak of anyone's career, like that moment, that World Cup, just no one has ever reached that level of just performance. That's the highest, the absolute highest.
Let me ask you,
highest ever,
highest in football.
Let me ask you, man, this question. Yeah,
they take everything into consideration.
Okay,
what do you, man, think of Ronaldo and Portugal Euro when it was in France?
That one is some dubious. If you actually look deep into it, obviously Ronaldo had a great Euros up to that point. If you look into it, their man, they only won 1 game in 90 minutes. That's a mad dubious one. But at the end of the day, he won. So I can't even say Portugal won. They grinded it out. I don't think they were the best team in that tournament.
Yeah,
so
they have to be the best team. I mean,
they were great tactically.
I mean, with Ronaldo, obviously got the international trophy. He's got that in his locker. But if you look into it, and when you want to nitpick, when you're comparing these greats, you have to nitpick. Like when you go to Pele, 62, was injured. Messi, 2006 World Cup, Champions League, he barely played in the knockout stages.
2010 World Cup, it was the golden. Which one did he have the golden ball? 2014, he had the golden ball.
Should have won up, anyways. But 2006, he was injured. Ronaldo, 2016, he's got 3 goals, 3 assists in that 6 games. But, they changed the rules to allow teams that finish third. I think they've even changed the rules back. I mean, like you said, they didn't win a game in 90 minutes. The final was injured.
I mean. He got injured during the final.
Yeah,
he started
in the final.
Nani became captain.
Injury.
He got injured. I mean, so that's if you want to nitpick, you'd be like, oh, he got injured in the final. But it's the way it goes.
It's all context, isn't it? Because you could just remember. I brought one stupid debate with Melo about Sanchez being the greatest player of our generation because he won 2 Copa Americas. That's what I'm trying to say.
I don't know where you got that from. It's just nonsense.
It's a couple. No, but I was just saying, it's context because obviously no one's comparing Sanchez, saying he's Sanchez on a level, but you need to look at everything in context. Ronaldo and Messi are really obviously the only 2 players of this generation that you can really consider, even in with the Pele, with the Maradona debate.
Yeah, 100%.
Of course.
And if you look at their resume, I'm just a bit worried and concerned about Pele because I think if you look at how he's obviously he did break down quite a lot. He wasn't as durable as I thought he was.
But then you got to take context of it again. The guy started playing football when he signed for Santos when he was like 16.
I think he signed when he was 15.
Yeah, signing shoots.
So by the time he gets to 30, he's already been playing 15 years.
Think about these players though. Think about players now.
And plus, and the nutrition in football was different back then.
Yeah, he looked old at 31.
Probably not even looking after yourself.
He looked aged.
Eating right. Or
especially not today. I mean, look at what happened to Rooney. Rooney's started for about 60. By the time he was 30 when he was done.
Look at his body. He never. I don't think Rooney took care of his body.
But he had the option to. I mean, the modern day technology is far better than it was back then in terms of medicine, nutrition. But he didn't.
And I think he took care of it enough that each season he could come back and he was still doing his thing.
When did Rooney stop declining? Like 28.
28, 29, 30, around that time. But basically around the same time Pele did.
When he went to
I said
Everton,
like 20. Nah, the decline. I think the decline started with like 2013.
Nah, he was calm.
2013.
He was calm.
Nah, that first season with Moyes, bro, he lost a yard of pace. Like he wasn't really doing it.
But he didn't need a yard of pace.
He got getting moved back.
No, because
playing
he wanted
centre
to.
mid.
He wanted
No,
to.
he had to. Well, not just only because he wanted to, because he didn't have the physical capability to still play up top and still do
started
extra
declining.
running.
But he's still banging goals at Everton. He's scoring like 10. It was the double
Bang
figures.
goals. He's done all right, man.
I think it's
But
always tougher for a player when you start playing
young.
first team. Yeah, that young.
the physical
always
toll, the
Obviously,
mileage.
like look at Sturridge. I look at him now, fam.
True.
Where is he?
When you start that young, that's what happens. I mean, you know, but obviously 1970 he came back after, you know, the battles he had, the dictatorship like they said, talked about, and he still proved he was the best player in the world. 1970 World Cup, and that's undeniable. I mean, he didn't score all the goals. No, Jorginho scored all the goals. Pele scored goals and assisted goals. Because people always forget this. I don't know why.
Pele's not a playmaker like that. I don't think it was. He's more of a. I would never say he's a cam.
But Pele didn't want to play up front. Remember,
You say you want to play for behind. He's like
he wanted to
10.
play behind.
I mean,
the
I would.
he's
He's not a playmaker to the level of Messi. Or Messi in terms of playmaking is better, but Pele is a serious playmaker. I mean, I think he's got the record assist in the World Cup. I mean, the passes he was doing, the creativity, just slowing down the game, slowing down the tempo. These are things you need to really look into and really knuckle down on. He had that in his bag. That's why I say he's the most complete forward there's ever been. Had everything. You want from a forward.
The thing is, you know what? I just think cross-generational comparison between players is tough because
Ronaldo is as a physical specimen so much better than Pele, and as the type of goals
being
Ronaldo,
a physical specimen. Though,
I think Ronaldo is a bag. Pele was obviously physically above everyone he played, because look at the dons he was playing with. I was looking at some of the guys that Pele was like. Pele was munching dons like those man. Some of the defenders were looking just like,
because he was a physical specimen of his time.
Yeah, it was a physical specimen of his time, such as how Ronaldo is. But if we were looking at how I would just like to say, how dominant were you in your era? That's the comparison I would like to say. Obviously, Pele is probably like peak dominance. What's going to obviously affect Ronaldo and Messi is that they're playing in the same era, and they were always competing with each other, which also can can push you to the point where people say, oh, these two were together and one was better. But at the end of the day, they're always going to judge them down, because if someone will say Messi did it, Ronaldo did it, Messi. No one's going to compare, say anyone did anything in Pele's era. Who are you going to say? Oh, Bobby Charlton did 1-1. Pele won, 3? 2 or 2, you could just say 2.
Bobby Charlton won, I believe, the Champions League. Eusebio done his thing.
But no one's ever there. Was Pele playing in those competitions?
I hear what Josh is saying.
It's not direct
Oh yeah,
competition.
Pele didn't have anyone quite on his level like Messi Ronaldo did.
Yes, there's no direct competition. He was just clearly the best.
I mean, it's what it is. I mean,
obviously Maradona came and Don started to speak.
Maradona, I always said this: if Maradona had more consistency, the debate would be absolutely serious. If he won a 1990 World Cup, the debate would be very, very serious. But for me, Maradona's out of those 4 guys: Messi, Ronaldo, Pele, and Messi. Maradona's always full for me. The lack of consistency, longevity, he didn't even have it. I mean,
how would you man judge his club career at Napoli?
That Napoli thing is mad, because what he did for Napoli as a city is just
for me. That impact is
I mean,
that's unique.
There was an interesting article on Sky Sports where they talk about how tough that league was, and if you go back, it arguably was the toughest league of its time. I mean, the defense was mad. The players they had, like the Van Bastens, Ruud Gullits, those type of guys, Platinis, who's up against, you know, not necessarily GOATs, but guys, all-time greats, like guys you would put in your top 20, top 30, like a lot of them. And he managed to win 2 titles. Napoli never won a title before.
It's true.
But the way Maradona drops out, the Champions League, there's nothing to speak about his Champions League career. I mean, at least when I would say about Pele in his club career, he won the Club World Championship twice. So he proved his team was the best in the world twice. Even though everyone talks about his international exploits, with Maradona, the Champions League, there's nothing there. There's nothing you could talk about.
Just had that World Cup, man. Obviously, Maradona didn't look after his body like that.
Yeah, but obviously times are different.
Yeah,
you know, so sports science hadn't had those
kind
of
advancements. The cocaine era of sports, fam.
But he came after Pele. He didn't take it as seriously as someone like Pele did, and that's probably what stopped him from reaching the heights. I mean, you could have.
Well, obviously, one thing I would say is that Maradona's actual thing about Maradona is not a physical. Comparing physically to Pele, Pele obviously outdoes him everywhere. Like his skill levels just peak. As a technically he's up there. It's only Messi that I can really see comparison to Maradona.
I also have an interesting debate about technique. How do you guys really value it? Because obviously Maradona and Messi, technically, you could argue put one
first touch.
Yeah, you can talk about, but control, where does weak foot come into it? Because if you talk about weak foot ability, obviously Messi and Ronaldo are not that high. But Ronaldo, someone like Ronaldo, even though I believe Messi and Maradona are better technically than Ronaldo, but so that's why I put Zidane really up there because he's ambidextrous. He could do it on both feet. You get what I'm saying? Maradona and Messi, right foot, especially Maradona. Messi's right foot's okay, but their right foot's not really there. Does that really weigh in that much?
But I think Ronaldo's left foot's quite good though.
But Ronaldo's left foot's amazing, but overall technique, I will still put Maradona and Messi, like the passing, the touch, everything, blah blah blah.
Do you know why I will say that? Because I only say that if it hinders you. Like if you can't use your right foot and people are directing you to the right foot, and these man, they can direct them to the right foot. It doesn't matter. They're gonna still get back to their left foot. Do you get what I mean? Yeah. It's not like an Arjen Robben where he has nothing on. He's not taking you outside. He's not going to. He's not going to cross with his right foot. He's not going to. He's going to cut in. That's what he's going to do.
I won't say it hinders them to an extent, but when you're nitpicking, like I say, the fine margins.
You can say that, but
that's what could have made him even better.
How about if you have something that's unstoppable, then you don't need to use any other move.
It's true.
I'm not saying I have a knockout punch. I'm not going to, but you want me to show me my jab?
Look at Deontay Wilder. He had a knockout punch.
Eventually you might say that, but if Wilder kept on knocking people out, no one will ever care about it.
That's what I'm saying. When you get to the highest levels, you're facing the Furies. They're going to take stuff away from you. When you get to the highest levels... Let me jump
finish.
Highest level, Messi, Maradona. Messi internationally, the right foot, who knows? He could have scored a goal here or there. Those are fine margins, but we don't want to look into that. You know what I mean?
Let me interject here. For me, for any sportsman, the true mark of greatness is when your opponent knows what you're going to do. They know what you like to do, but they still can't stop it.
Yeah.
Of course.
So we could talk about Messi's right foot.
Those guys are great. Don't get me wrong. But when you put that as number one all time, that's just technique-wise. Not just the overall sport. I'm just talking pure technique. You have to nitpick. And when you have other guys...
The ball's coming out of the sky. Who are you believing that's going to kill that ball
it's not
dead?
It's not just
Who's going to pick the pass?
Huh?
Who's going to...
They can all pick a pass. Especially Pele, Maradona, Messi. Obviously, Messi, Maradona, I'll say they could do it better. But taking everything into consideration...
What's the range of passing?
They all have range of passes. Messi, Maradona is better though. Yeah. But when you talk about all this stuff, like when you're forced to your right foot, okay, for example,
how much does a weak foot hinder all the other ability though?
It depends how you look at it. That, for me, weak foot, I give credence to it. Other guys, they totally dismiss it. I give credence to it. That's why, me personally, if someone says Zidane is the greatest technical player of all time, I could wholeheartedly agree with that. He's right up there for me. I'm not saying he's the best, but just speaking pure technique, Zidane is right up there. No, Zidane. No, but Zidane's on a high level. Zidane's right up there with Messi and Maradona. Just a technique.
But you're taking on technique. Santi Cazorla. Some people don't know what foot he was.
No, but Santi Cazorla, both feet ambidextrous is great. But his technique wasn't quite on the level of Zidane. Zidane's technique is close enough to Messi when I was right up there, and he has ambidextrous nature as well.
Okay then. How about dribbling then? Would that not count? His close control, his close touch?
Zidane has all that dribbling and stuff and close control.
I don't think his dribbling ability is as up to Messi and Maradona.
Messi and Ronaldo's,
I think Messi, when it comes to like dribbling, technical ability, I think he's clear. Like the body feints, the touches, the close control is crazy.
It's crazy. I don't think that's anything there. Because guys literally say the ball's like, where he's moving at speed. He's dribbling at speed with the ball is as nearly as fast as him running.
And the centre of gravity is quite low, so it's hard to knock him off the ball. They said that for
Brazil Ronaldo. I mean, they said, Zidane, very elegant,
Obviously, R9 could be in this it could have been in this discussion. Obviously,
it should have been in discussion.
His knees, you know what happens? His knees gave out on him. That's it.
It's sad, man. R9, my favorite player of my lifetime, is unfortunate. I mean, the injuries.
You watched him. How old were you when he lost? You were not over 10.
5, 6, 7. Still my favorite player of my lifetime. Was I not alive to see it? Damn, I'm not saying R9.
Not over 10.
But unfortunately, the injury just took it out of him.
R9 was different, bro. I remember the first game I watched with Ronaldo. That was the Man United. Real Madrid 4-3 at Old Trafford.
Obviously,
I was 6.
Obviously, I think Henry's better than R9
because you're a drunkard.
That's no, but I'm saying longevity. That's what plays into it. And what R9 did, you see, R9 stats for goals. Henry's stats for goals and assists in the.
Henry's a choker
in that decade.
But Henry was different.
Henry's different.
Yeah, Henry's different.
Henry to me as a centre foot was complete.
Do you know what they say? Complete. I think Gary Neville was saying that. He's the only, Gary Neville and Carragher were like, Henry's like the only guy that when they were facing that they had nightmares. They were thinking, what's he gonna do? Like when you see him in the tunnel as well, man had impact.
Yeah, but Neville and Carragher are a bit sensationalist. They gotta say for Sky.
Obviously, if you see Henry, you're gonna have this guy's tall. He's got technical ability.
Ronaldo didn't play in the league, especially not as before he pre his injuries. I mean, Henry's as us fan, I love Henry. I adore Henry, but.
You're absolutely hate.
No, I'll tell the truth.
Obviously, you love Brazilians.
No, I'll tell the truth. I'll tell the truth. I'm
surprised you're not carrying Brazilian.
Let's go through the moments for Henry then. What? So 98 World Cup.
He didn't play well.
He didn't play a big part of that.
2000 Euro final.
He didn't play well.
2000 Euros.
He had a good Euros, but I don't think he scored it. He didn't score in the final.
Because he never scores in the final. He's a joker.
0-2 is disgusting. I can't
0-2
even
they went out group stage.
Hey man, that was the worst. Man. I can't even rate
They
them.
got to the goat. Papa Bouba Diop.
The funny thing is, I have my first football memory, of what I remember is that we're in assembly hall. I think I was in assembly hall, year 2. I think it's year 2 or something like that. We're in assembly hall, and then when they say, "Oh, come in and watch the football," I see Ronaldinho scored the free kick. I saw kids crying. I was like, "Glow." You think I'm riding for England? No.